Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Elias and welcome to Material Energy 5 Entity. So I have recently completed this map, and something that I actually struggled with in this is completing the monument, specifically finding all of the trophies and the two secret items, the Petition and Retloth the Potato, hidden around this space station base thing. And so I figured, why not just make a guide so if anybody else is having trouble finding a specific trophy or whatever, hopefully they'll find this video and it will be pretty easy to figure out what they're missing. So obviously there is spoilers for all the trophy locations. If you don't want to know where they're at, why are you watching this? But there is also some spoilers for Chapter 3, the end of Chapter 3, and the beginning of Chapter 4, because we need to get to some areas that are inaccessible until that point. So, if you don't want to be spoiled, just don't watch those parts. So let's start off by heading to the monument. Before we actually look at the trophies, let's see what all we need to actually find. So there are basically four categories, let's say three and a little, categories of trophies, and the basic gist is this. All of these purple ones can be found pretty much at the beginning of the game. The pink ones are a little bit of a mix. Most of them you need to get to Chapter 4, although a few of them you can find before that. But mostly Chapter 4, and then these are the really hard ones to find. You're going to want some sort of flight, most likely. Same with the llama up there. The llama is special, but not really. The llama is very close to another trophy, actually. But you're going to want some sort of flight, most likely. Staff of Traveling and a glider works pretty well. Otherwise, I use the Ring of Propulsion, the Squid Ring, from Extra Utilities. There is some other forms of flight. Some of them are bugged and don't work, so that's a thing. And then the other thing to note, we're going to be finding the two special items. So the Petition, this one does require a little bit of luck, and we'll get to that in a bit. It requires you to have rare loot crates, but other than that, not too big of a deal. If you are playing through this map normally and you find some of the secrets, you'll be able to get that one pretty easily. And then Retloth the Potato is pretty easy to find, but we'll go over that in just a little bit. So, we're going to go in order from left to right, and so I'm going to also use the YouTube feature of the chapters. So if you're looking for a very specific trophy, you can skip there now. Otherwise, we're just going to start with the chicken. So the chicken trophy is here in the greenhouse. It's actually really easy to find. You just need to go to the elevator and head upstairs to the tree farm, and he is right in this corner. The sheep trophy is next, and it is up in the alchemy lab, right in the corner. Should be pretty easy to find. Now the next trophy is the bat, and we are back here in the observatory area. And in order to find the bat, you need to go to the elevator, which is over here, not there, and head downstairs. And the bat is just right in here with the ME system. Just got to break the glass and grab the bat statue. Now from the bat statue, the pig is actually just right over here. Really easy to find, and you'll get the pig next to the storage disk, the ME drives of your storage system. Now, staying in the observatory, the cow trophy is not too well hidden, just hiding out here behind this block, right next to the entrance to the spatial storage area. Now, the next trophy you probably saw at the very beginning of the game when you load into the world. You are facing right here in the hub, and the Mooshroom Trophy is just down here in the corner, hiding next to all the anti-blocks. The next trophy is the Wolf Trophy, and it is over here in the greenhouse on the first floor over here in the corner, next to your fields. The Rabbit Trophy is probably the easiest one to find, as it is quite literally right behind me, next to the crafting terminals in the observatory. Pretty easy to find. It's hard to miss this one. And the final trophy on the first row is the horse trophy. So from the observatory, go to the elevators, go upstairs, and on the other side of the room, basically above the spatial storage area, you'll find the horse trophy. So that is all of them for the first row. Now starting on the second row, we are going to be heading outside. Now if you're not familiar with that, it is basically end of chapter 3, the beginning of chapter 4, so this is your spoiler alert. Where you will get the Voidbreaker, which is just an Ori class pickaxe named Voidbreaker. And what you do is you come down here to the main room of the observatory in the basement, and now you can break any of the Voidstone blocks and get to the outside. Now there's a whole quest line out here, but we're going to focus just on the trophies. So the next row is mostly outside. Some of them are inside. And for the most part, I don't think you need flight necessarily, but it wouldn't hurt, obviously. So I'm going to go into creative mode, and let's go find the rest of the trophies. So the first trophy in the second row is the Creeper Trophy, and the easiest way to get it is to just leave out probably this right here, make some ladders, and get outside of the space station and head right over here across the ceiling, and right here is the Creeper Trophy. I would suggest putting some blocks so that you don't have to deal with any sort of like the trophy falling into the void, because that can definitely happen, and there is spawners and stuff in here. Again, chapter 4 spoilers, but this is where the Creeper Trophy is. Next up is the Iron Golem Trophy, and this one is a little bit trickier to get. So outside of the space station, again on the roof here in the little hub, probably the easiest way to get it is to go up and climb on this vent. Obviously I'm in creative mode so I can fly, but along this vent, if you go to the other side, right here is the Iron Golem. And starting once more from this spot, right when you get outside of the station, the Snow Golem Trophy is downwards. So what you're going to want to do is probably follow this track. This is where all of the creeper spawners are. There's a ton of creeper spawners. And this trophy is probably best gotten once you have some sort of flight, but you could also bridge and use water, because the Snow Golem Trophy is just right down here. Not too hard to find, it is pretty obvious, but maybe a little bit tricky to get. Next up is the Slime Trophy, and if you recall this vent, I tried to avoid looking at it, but this vent where we got the Iron Golem Trophy, at the top of it, just in this right corner, is the Slime Trophy. So if you're going to get the Iron Golem Trophy, you can probably get this one pretty easily on the way. Next up is the Squid Trophy, and again from the outside of the station, you're going to want to go towards where the computer AI thing is, and you got this big sphere. You're expected to bridge across here, and this again is a quest thing, but if you go on top of the sphere, you'll find the Squid Trophy just at the very top of this AI controller thing. Next up is the Cave Spider Trophy, and a little bit of advice just in general. Once you get to the outside of the station, you're probably going to want to put a ladder to get up to the top of this area, just because it's going to be useful. You'll have access to the solar panel area, but the Cave Spider Trophy, not spawner, I don't know why I tried to say spawner. The trophy is this direction. Over here is where the farm is, and if you drop down, basically right on top, so there's the farm, and then this is the monument area. It's in this corner, right above the monument, and again, you're probably going to want to put some blocks so you don't lose it, but it's pretty easy to find once you have access outside of the station. Next up is the Silverfish Trophy, and once again, you're going to want to head outside of the station and head up to the top to the solar area, and that is exactly what this is called, by the way, Solar Zone. And what you're going to want to do is head over here, and there is this little room with all the lapis. you want to climb over this and head right to this corner, and this is where the Silverfish Trophy is. Now the next two trophies in the second row are a lot easier to find, and in fact once you get the Void Breaker you can get both of them very easily, and in fact the first one you can get without the Void Breaker. You can get it from the start of the game, and so that is the Zombie Trophy. So here in the observatory you need to just go downstairs, and the zombie is actually hidden right here in the middle of your applied Energistics controller. So you just need to break through the glass, and pretty easy to get. The last trophy in the second row is the Skeleton Trophy, and this one is, again, pretty easy to get. It's inside the actual space station, but you need the Void Breaker to actually get it. So you might notice in the Alchemy Lab, there is a bunch of Void Stone, and so of course what you need to do is just break a little bit of it. Be mindful there is a lot of conduits behind here, so it's a little bit tricky to get in and out, but it's just right here in the corner. You can kind of see where it's at relative in the room, but yeah, it's pretty easy to find once you have the Void Breaker. Alright, so that is it for the second row of the trophies. The third row is where things get more difficult, and if you are watching this, it's probably something in the third row you're missing. So to begin with the Blaze Trophy, you're going to want to head outside the station and head down the corridor with the creepers and all that kind of stuff, and just head down this direction. And I don't remember exactly what it is, but the AI core stuff, there's this set of rooms that you have to get through with all the zombies and creeper spawners, and what you're supposed to do in the quest line is to go down there. But if you go to this other side, one, there is a hidden chest here, but the Blaze Trophy is right here underneath some of the slime, or corruption I think is what it's called in the lore, but pretty easy to find if you just come over to this area. Next up is the Guardian Trophy, which is probably one of the harder ones to find. So if you head outside of the station and head over towards the station AI core, which this will probably not look like this when you get to this point, and we found the squid on top of it, of this sphere, but if you go to the bottom of the sphere, hidden right here is the Guardian Trophy, and this is one you're probably going to want flight for. You can break these enemy controllers, so that is something from the inside that is a little bit easier. You can just break these wires and the controllers here, but otherwise you're going to need to fly around to get to this. So yeah, this one's a little bit trickier. And speaking of tricky trophies to find, this is one that I had to look up. So most of the trophies I actually found by just flying around, but this one's tough. So what you need to do is start from the outside of the station and head all the way down to the lower section of the map, through all these rooms. Presumably you're going to have these cleared out, and down here there is all of these. I don't remember the storyline for this, but you had to come down here at some point to get something, I think. And there is a hidden room off to the side of here, and I will talk about that briefly. There is this wooden pressure plate just kind of hidden, and I have some blocks we can throw on, and you get to go through this. There is a bunch of wires, and it's really weird. There's a storage cell, and we can just break through all of this stuff. There's some iron blocks, and then if you break this iron block, you go to beneath the area. And this is going to be an important area for later, but if you come outside, and again, flight is going to be your friend, the Evoker Trophy is just right here on top of this little secret room. So yeah, this one is hard to find, and again, there's the anti-block, so you can't actually see down here from the other side. It's basically directly underneath the monument, but yeah, it's right here, kind of hidden. You go that path, that's probably the safest way, but I don't really see a way you can do that without some sort of flight. Next up is the Enderman Trophy, and this one is actually really close to the last trophy, the Evoker. So outside the station, we're going to go through this area again, and apologies that I'm showing you kind of the long way to get there, but I figure if you want to look at a very specific trophy, I should probably start from a very obvious location. But yeah, so you go through here, and you can, once again, find the hidden pressure plate to get to the secret room over here and go through the cables, grab the loot in the image drive, and fall through the bottom. There's normally iron blocks again. Just break the iron blocks, you'll get there. And you fall out here, and the Evoker Trophy is up there, but the Enderman Trophy is right over here. So once again, you're probably gonna want flight to get this one. It's difficult to get down here otherwise, just because you can't break all the laboratory blocks, and there's not really a good way to get over here anyways. But the Enderman Trophy is just chilling on top of a chest, on top of a bedrock box, which has all of the command blocks for the monument and credits and all that kind of fun stuff. So this is the Enderman Trophy. Alright, next up is the Vindicator Trophy, and once again you start from outside of the space station. Head up, presumably you got a ladder or something to get up here to the solar zone, and then you're either going to want to fly or pillar up and get to the top of this box. There is some thickened glass here which you can break. Obviously I'm in creative mode so I can break it anyways, but at the top of this box the Vindicator will be standing waiting for you if you look towards the center. So that one is pretty straightforward. Next up is the Zombie Pigman Trophy, which, again, starting from outside of the station, go up to the top to the solar zone, and just come over here to the Lapis room. Once again, climb over top of it, and right over here, you can fall down, and there is the Zombie Pigman Trophy hiding in this little gap. Pretty well hidden, but not the worst to find. Now this is probably the worst trophy to find in this entire map. The Polar Bear Trophy is awful. So once again, you're going to start from outside of the space station, and you can see the station AI, the big sphere, and what you need to do is get to that corner right there. So you're going to want to have flight, or you're going to want to have a lot of blocks. Because in this corner, specifically from the station core, it is in the left corner from that, there is a trophy that you cannot even see, but you can see a little bit of a blip, and once you get close it will kind of load in. This one is the other one I had to look up other than the Evoker Trophy because I could not find it. It's awful. But yeah, this is where the Polar Bear Trophy is. Once again, make sure you kind of protect it so that it doesn't fall into the void. But it should be pretty easy to get once you realize which corner it's in. The next trophy is the Endermite Trophy, and is probably one of the harder ones to get, but not so much find. So in order to get this one, you're going to want to start from outside of the station, and you're going to want to head along the creeper pathway here. And if you just come down here and get over to this side, and once you get to about here, you can look back, and the trophy is right up there. Now, it's not too difficult to actually get, to be honest, but it is a trickier one to find. I thought it was kind of hidden in the blocks a little bit more. I thought it was a little bit tougher to get, but it's not. So this is where the Endermite Trophy is, hiding along this little pillar. And the final trophy for the third row is, again, outside of the station. But this time you're going to go over towards where the Illusioner is and all the Ori class. Now, if you look from right about here, you can see underneath this little platform there is some Ori class blocks. That should be your first kind of hint. And when you come down here, unfortunately things are going to spawn. You'll see 3 Ori class blocks, but the 4th one doesn't have anything. Well, that's because it's hiding the Villager Trophy. So you're going to probably want to have flight. Otherwise, you could probably use water and pillar underneath here. There's also a secret chest down here, which I don't know if you can see from above. You cannot. There is a secret chest here. good to know. So yeah, that is where the Villager Trophy is. Not too bad to get, but it's a little trickier unless you have flight or I guess you could water from here. So there you go. Alright, so that is all of the trophies in row 3. There is only one more trophy to go find, and it is actually not too bad to find. It's just difficult to get. Once again, probably going to want flight, because this one is all the way. So if you head this direction and go along the path that you were supposed to go in chapter 4, and you just head on down here, and once you get to this area, you can go through the secret little room off to the side, which I'll show that off once again. Same thing as what we did to get the Evoker and the Enderman Trophy, but you just throw something onto the secret pressure plate, go through this room, all these wires, the ME drive. There would be 2 iron blocks here, and there's an iron block here, but it will allow you to fall underneath the area. Otherwise, you could just get down. Whoops. There's anti-blocks, so be warned. Otherwise, you can get down here and just go underneath the anti-blocks. But you can see the big bedrock box, and underneath it, at the edge of the void, is the Llama Trophy sitting on top of a skystone chest. So yeah, this one is not too hard to find, but it is not the easiest to get. Again, probably gonna want to have some sort of flight for this, just to make your life easier. And I would even suggest not having anything in your inventory except for a pickaxe. And remember that you do need vanilla pickaxes to break the trophies. So yeah, this one is not hard to find, difficult to get. Alright, so that is all of the trophies found, and there is just 2 more items for us to locate to complete the monument. The 2 secret items, so the Petition and Retloth the Potato. We're going to start with the Petition, and in order to find this one, it's difficult. It actually was one of the main reasons, it is actually one of the main reasons that I am making this video, because I tried to look up where the Petition is, and it is the most difficult thing to find. So I figured if I make a video, then people will be able to find it a little bit easier. So for this one, you need to open the rare reward boxes, and you're going to get a lot of them throughout the map. You're probably going to get the reward you need, but you need to get one of the bonus spatial storage cells, specifically space spheres. See, the Petition is, well, it's about Pluto, the planet, and so it makes sense once you know that. But just load up these space spheres, and once you get to this map, you will see all of the planets. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 planets and the sun, but there is no Pluto. So if you look up in that corner, there is a little bit of a factory block, and there is a chest on top if you get a little closer. So if you get however you want to manage to get your way over here, all the way up here to this chest, open it, you will find the Petition to sign to make Pluto a planet again. And this will get you not only the quest, but it is the victory monument item that you need. Now the last item that you need to get is Retloth the Potato. And this one is actually not too bad to get. If you were observant while looking for the trophies, it's actually near one of the trophies. However, it's not the easiest to see. So what you need to do is go to the monument, and about, well, right there, pillar up or fly or however you want, and break this block, and you will find a mini chest hidden above it that contains Retloth the Potato. And that is all you need to do. So it is near the Cave Spider Trophy, and it is basically in between the monument and the greenhouse area. However, you cannot actually, can you get it from you can get it from the greenhouse by breaking exactly that block. I don't think you'd want to. That seems a little harder, but you could do it this way too. So that is where all of the items for the victory monument are. Retloth the Potato, the Petition, and all of the trophies. So hopefully this guide served you well, and if you couldn't find something, I hope you were able to find it using this. So that is gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!